Something big is going on right now. We are getting multiple earthquakes in a row that are shaking the United States, and this is hitting areas and regions that we are worried about for potentially a major earthquake hitting, right? This could be the foreshadowing for something big, and the frequency of these have been increasing, right? And checking on this to see what's going on the past few days, there have been a ton of earthquakes that have happened inside the United States, all right? So this could be a foreshadow, this could be a warning for something big to happen next. All right, we could see this pressure relieved in multiple different ways, but we are seeing places like Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri getting hit right now with a lot of earthquakes, right? So this is big news, and we could see a big earthquake in this region, in the Missouri region near the Mississippi River, right? Missouri, St. Louis, Memphis. This region could see a major earthquake in the next year, potentially, right? So I want you to check out this map here. Really quick, guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on all this big news going on inside the country, right? But check this out. You can see here this map of all the earthquakes that have happened just in the past few days. You can see here just in the past few days there have been dozens of earthquakes that have been hitting the United States, and specifically in regions that we don't typically think about as well. Texas, Oklahoma, even Kansas City and Missouri are now getting earthquakes like we've been talking about before. You can see here a 3.5 magnitude earthquake hit Kansas City, Missouri on March 15th, right? 3 days ago. A 3.5 magnitude earthquake hit there, right? Also a 2.5 hit Nebraska, right? We had a 2.6 hit Oklahoma, a 2.9 hit Oklahoma. These are all within the past 3 or 4 days. All right, a 2.9 hit Texas as well. That was on the 11th. So these earthquakes and these movements are moving through the United States and moving through the country. We saw a 3.6 earthquake in Idaho on the 12th, right? And the reason why this is important is because check out this map here. This map shows you where the pressure is released, all right? There's movement of the tectonic plates, and they are moving around the North American craton, and the pressure has to be released somewhere, and this is typically the pattern that the pressure is released as it moves around the North American craton, the main section of the continental United States. All right, so we are due, and we also saw earthquakes recently in South Carolina and New York. So if you look at this pattern moving, it makes sense. Earthquakes in Idaho about a week ago. Then a few days later, earthquakes in Texas. Then a few days after that, earthquakes hitting Kansas City. Now we have earthquakes in South Carolina and New York as well just being reported. Okay, so this pressure is moving throughout the country right now, and we are seeing a lot of seismic activity. Okay, and we could see something big happen potentially in Missouri at the new Madrid fault line, right? That is a main subduction zone that they are worried about, and this is also a potential volcanic zone, right? It's inactive, but there have been volcanoes in this region before as well, right? And there have been earthquakes, mega earthquakes in the past few hundred years in this region. So this is something we need to be on the lookout for, and we are seeing this cluster spike in the country right now, right? And something that's also going on is that there are lots of earthquakes going on in Asia right now, specifically at Fukushima in Japan. They're having earthquake after earthquake, and they're fairly large earthquakes, 5, some of them above 6. And this energy is also transferring to the United States, and we are seeing earthquakes over on the west coast as well. There was a 3.9 that hit San Francisco just yesterday on the 17th, and there was a 3.3 that hit just south of Los Angeles on the 15th. All right, so all this energy is being transferred and it's moving around. We're seeing a lot of activity, and we could see something big. There was a 4.5 magnitude earthquake on the 6th that was right outside of Seattle, Washington, in the ocean. Okay, and I remember that one. They were a little bit worried that there could be a tsunami warning from it. So they are getting prepared for something. The military is getting prepared. I made a video on for a megaquake in Alaska, a 9.2 megaquake. The U.S. military is running operations and drills preparing for that, right? And that ties into this, right? This energy is being transferred. The ring of fire is right here in this region, right? And the energy is being transferred. The belt, the West Coast belt, is receiving a lot of activity right now as well. All right, so the West Coast belt is colliding and transferring energy with the North American craton. So these two things are kind of rubbing into each other right now, and there's a deformed section in the middle here around Nevada and the edge of Utah, right, going into Nevada and then into the West Coast. There's a deformed region there that we could see if we saw a megaquake, right? These regions could see potential mass flooding as well, right? Even that far inland. So if we see big breaks off the West Coast. But the main thing I'm worried about specifically right now is this Missouri sector, right? This fault line, and also the Appalachian Mountains. Okay, this energy is being transferred through that, and that's why we're seeing earthquakes in South Carolina and New York as well. So make sure you guys are getting prepared. Make sure you're getting ready. If we see one of these big earthquakes that they are preparing for actively right now, the U.S. military and the National Guard, then we could see major outages of the grid, of communication systems, everything. Everything could go offline if in these regions, if we see a megaquake like this. And there's also potential technologies that are in Alaska, things like HARP potentially, and other earthquake technologies that militaries have, U.S. military and potentially foreign militaries have as well, that could amplify earthquakes, okay? Take advantage of the natural cycle and process that's going on and potentially amplify it in certain regions. All right, this is on the line right now as well. There's a lot of weird technology. The neutrino technology that's in Antarctica has been speculated to potentially influence or potentially mess with earthquakes. All right, so not confirmed, but those things are also a possibility as well, where these natural cycles that are going on could be amplified, could be ramped up, and something like this happening, a major geological event like this, could cause problems with our Earth's atmosphere, our Earth's magnetic field as well, and we could see a weakening of the atmosphere. We could see satellites falling and a whole other host of issues, right? Because the satellites themselves are already weakening our atmosphere right now because they are magnetic and they are creating their own magnetic influence in our atmosphere and taking away magnetism from our own Earth, interfering with our own Earth's magnetic field, with its own magnetic field that's in our atmosphere floating around. And this is weakening our field. There's a lot of things going on, right? And a major geological event like this could weaken our magnetic field as well. And that's not that big of a deal when the civilization doesn't depend, when everything's not electronic, right? If it was 200 years ago, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. 300 years ago, it's no big deal. Nobody would really notice, right? There would be some things, there would be natural disasters, things like that people would notice. But now if this happens, we would not be protected from the sun. And then we are dealing with electromagnetic pulse situations from the sun, essentially, from their solar flares and their coronal mass ejections. So something to be aware of, something to be prepared for, because if we see a big one like this, we could see other things coming after it, right? And they are aware of these cycles. They know these major cycles. The elites, a lot of people behind the scenes, they know about these cycles, and these cycles are hidden from the public, and we need to try to figure out these cycles of what's going on and try to be prepared for them and what comes next. All right, so make sure you're getting ready, make sure you're getting prepared. We're getting ready on our homestead, lots of projects going, lots of big things going, gardens, chickens, getting ready, building stuff. All right, we're getting ready for what comes next, potentially, if we see one of these big events. So get prepared, get your water tanks filled up, gas tanks filled up, get your prepper pantry stocked up with canned goods, rice, beans, all that good stuff. Get it filled up now so you're good. You're good. You don't have to leave your house for a while if this hits, if anything hits, right? So thank you guys. Hope you have big blessings for your life, your family. Go check out my video I posted yesterday about this solar eclipse. Go check it out. I do a breakdown, go more into detail about a little bit what we're talking about today. All right, so go check out that video. Hope you have big blessings for your life, your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.